Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time we're going to be trying Star Trek Panic. I've already done Castle Panic and Dead Panic, and this is another one in the series, Star Trek Panic, where you have the Enterprise here is going to be trying to complete missions before it gets destroyed. And to do that, we have some characters from the original series. There's 7 that you can play. The game plays from 1 player to 6. And the objective, you can set the difficulty level. I'm going to be trying to complete 5 missions. And I'll zoom in here on a couple of things and tell you what it's all about. So basically you have your Starship Enterprise here. It's broken up into 6 sections, and we'll take a look at the little ship there. You've got the front 2, side 2, and the rear. You have shields all the way around on the 6 quadrants, and you can take damage to the actual hull of the ship on the 6 quadrants. So starting off the game, you randomly take a Klingon battlecruiser, which has 3 hit points, basically, a Tholian, and a Romulan battlecruiser, which is up here in 5, and you put them in 1, 3, 5 randomly. So we have the Klingon battlecruiser here in 3, the Romulan up on 5, the Tholian at 1. Kind of unique mechanics in the game for a Panic game. I know Dead Panic introduced actual characters that could wander around the board doing things. In this game, you actually can maneuver the Enterprise, so it can rotate clockwise, counterclockwise, and it can move forward, which how it moves forward is the tokens in the first 2 quadrants will move 1 step closer, but everything else will remain where it is. And I believe cloaked ships do not move 1 step closer if they're in this area. So there's cloaked ships. Anyway, let's take a look at the cards, the reference sheet for the Enterprise, mission timer card, and then we'll take a look at the characters after that. Okay, so on this side of the board here we have the completed missions tracker, and we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to try to complete the 5-year mission. The original Enterprise, and when you complete a mission, of course, you're going to put one of these tokens. So if we complete the first one, it goes here. To win the game, we must complete all 5 missions and remove all threats from the board and have the Enterprise not be destroyed. Not as easy as it sounds. This here shows us the quick reference guide to threats firing on the Enterprise. So basically we have 2 fronts, 2 side, and 2 rear. And so when threats come in, like here, you've got the Klingon battlecruiser, it's going to fire, it's going to move and fire every turn. It will fire and hit whichever quadrant it's in on the Enterprise. And of course now the Enterprise can maneuver, so it can turn to put good shields up against, incoming threats, that kind of thing. So the maneuverability of the Enterprise is kind of cool in this version. Going up from here, we have the Enterprise cards, and I'll reshuffle these, but these cards have things like your typical Panic game, so they're able to hit a long-range target in the front quadrant, and then there's security teams, there's some special cards that do things. We deal with borders, there's multi-shot, so it's just a whole array of things. Again, I'll reshuffle that before we start. So that's a deck of cards. Now you can lose the game. There's damage mechanics in the game that make you lose cards out of this draw deck. If you ever need to go and draw a card and you can't because the draw deck's been depleted through damage effects in the game, you lose the game. So there's one way to lose, of course. If the Enterprise is completely destroyed, you're also lost. These are the missions, and these missions, I think there's 18 of them or so. We're going to be trying to complete 5, so they get shuffled. And at the start of the game, we'll flip over the first mission, and we're going to see what it is. So these are our mission cards. If you complete the mission, there's usually a beneficial effect that happens for you. If you do not complete the mission, then, well, there may or may not be a negative effect ongoing or something that happens. And again, you're going to use the mission timer card. So when you flip a mission, it'll say you have 5 turns to complete the mission. You'll put the little token here on the 5, and then every turn through turn order will go down 1. If you ever get to 0, the mission's failed. This is our bag of exciting things, and these are all the tokens that we're going to be pulling out in a typical Panic fashion. So we'll be pulling out cloaked Romulan ships, or some special tokens, special events. They're all in here. If this bag ever runs out and you need to draw threats, you throw all the threats back into the bag and keep drawing so they don't run out. Like the original Castle Panic, The idea was you had to defend the entire bag. When the bag runs out, you're done. In this game, not the case. They just keep coming. All right, I'm going to adjust the camera again. We're going to look at the characters that we will be playing. I'll show you all of them quickly, and I'll show you the 3 that I randomly selected for this game. Then we're going to look at some damage tokens and the order of the game. Then I think we're going to go ahead and do a turn to see how it plays out. Okay, so I'm going to be playing with 3 characters from the original series. Of course, all the characters in this game are from original series. So these are the 3 we're going to be using. So I'll quickly go through the 4 that we're not. So the game comes with 7. So we have Uhura as a character. I'm just going to go through. If you want to pause and read this stuff, you can. Kirk, Spock, Bones, and Uhura, and of course Scott, Sulu, and Chekov. Those are the playable characters in the game. So let's take a look at Montgomery Scotty. So he has a special ability, and it says during the play cards and maneuver phase, and I'll show you that here in a second, he can repair 1 damaged hull or shield section without playing a card. So the cards, of course, are key to this game. You need to use them and play them, but for his special ability, once during that phase, he can just repair a hull section or shield for free. Sulu's ability is during the play cards and maneuver phase, maneuver the Enterprise twice. So each character is allowed to maneuver the Enterprise once, while Sulu's ability is maneuver it twice. So that's pretty handy when you need to complete some objectives that have maneuvering involved. Now, if you get 3 hull sections completely destroyed, or destroyed, needing to be replaced, basically repaired, then you cannot maneuver the Enterprise anymore. But we'll take a look at the damage tokens here in a second. Chekov. During the play cards and maneuver phase, you can deal 1 additional damage to 1 target attacked with a phaser. So most hit cards do 1 point of damage. Chekov is able to add 1 more damage to make it 2 during 1 phaser attack once per turn. So that's pretty cool, and I believe that's only a one-time effect. So these are the 3 characters we're going to be using. So I'll show you quickly. This is the turn order of the game. So basically you're going to drop your cards in a 3-player game. Everyone's going to get 5 Enterprise cards. And then you're going to reveal the new mission if required, and we'll see that as we do our first turn. And you can trade 1 card with another player. And then you can play cards and maneuver phase. So this is where you're going to play your cards, and you'll see how that works when we play. Then after you're done with all that, we're going to check mission status. So on the mission, if we've progressed in the mission, you'll see that. If not, the timer is going to tick down. And then threats move and fire. So all of the tokens on the board, wherever they are going to move forward, or they might move with regards to special effects or some special special ships in the game that come out and do some special things. And we'll see that as we play. And when you've done all of that and taken damage to the Enterprise or the shields, then you draw 2 new threats out of the bag, and you place them on the board. And away we go and just keep going turn by turn by turn. So what we're going to do is Scotty's going to start, then we're going to have Sulu, then we're going to have Chekov. So I'm just going to quickly show you the damage tokens and some special tokens that can come out, and then we're going to get right into it and see if we can survive the onslaught. Alright, so in the game there are various tokens that we use to show damage and something that's completely destroyed. So of course we have our 6-sided die that comes with the game. This little token here just means if you have 3 or more completely destroyed sections of your ship, you can no longer maneuver, so you put that on the ship. There's a special card that comes out with a force field, which can render a ship unable to move. We have hull section damage tokens. We have shield section damage tokens. And we have a whole bunch of special tokens. For these are special draw that come out of the bag, and we'll be placing those on the board at some time, and they have special effects. And then we have destroyed sections of the hull. So if a hull takes 2 damage or more, it will be completely destroyed and needing, of course, replacement repair. And then the nacelles, so the 4 sections of the saucer and the 2 nacelles. Okay, without getting into anything too more specific, let's just go ahead and start playing the game. Now, at the start of the game, each character is going to have 5 cards. So we're going to have to draw 5 cards from the Enterprise deck for Scotty, Sulu, and Chekov. and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do Scotty's turn. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead here and we're going to draw 5 cards off the top of our draw deck for each of the characters. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Scotty. And so Scotty ends up getting medium range side phasers, long range phasers, multi-range phasers, short range side phasers, and it gets the force field. Alright, so those are, and of course it's a cooperative game, so the cards can remain face up, so because everyone can see them, it really makes no difference. Of course I'm playing all characters, so that's not going to make any difference. It's all going to be open-faced information. So Sulu gets some firing range cards. He gets Dilithium. Dilithium card, repair 1 damage shield, or play with Titanium to rebuild a destroyed Hauler shield. And Security Team, and this has to do with borders. And you'll notice here on the bottom left corner, there are these like blue, red, and gold symbols. Command, Engineering, and Medical, I believe, is or Science or Medical, depending on the symbol inside. These have to do with completing missions, and we'll see that as we, of course, start Scotty's turn. We have to do the first mission. So those are Sulu's cards, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards for Chekov off the top of the deck. He has some more firing phasers, long range, any, and he has Dilithium as well, mid range. So we have a good variety of phaser cards for doing damage. Of course, we want to get rid of the ships before they damage the Enterprise and destroy us. And everyone's got their cards now. And so we're going to begin the game. So we're going to start with Scotty. And so we have to take a look at our little sheet here. So basically that's the setup of the game is all ready to go. The first thing we do, of course, on Scotty's turn here, he's first up, he's going to draw up. If he had less than his 5 cards, which is our maximum hand size with 3-player game, he would draw up to 5. Well, he has 5, so he's not going to do that. So now we need to reveal a new mission. So basically, we're going to see what our first mission is. So I'm going to go over the mission deck, we're going to flip it over, we're going to have a look at it, and see what it is we're trying to do. Okay, so we have our first mission. So these are all shuffled up, so I don't know what's in here. I think in an introductory game, you're only supposed to do 3 years, and they give you specific missions that are supposed to be here. I just shuffled them all up, so I have no idea what's coming. Again, there's 18 of them. So our first mission is going to be the Day of the Dove. And I'm just going to put it down here and try to zoom in on it a bit so I don't move it around. And so come right back, and we're going to overview this mission and see what it's all about. Okay, I hope there's not too much glare on it. I hope we can read it. So Day of the Dove. So it's got a 3 here. So that means we're going to put the mission token on the 3. So we basically have 3 turns to try and complete this mission. And so what is the mission? Mission parameters, mission timer starts at 3. We've already done that. Players may not target Klingon ships with any Enterprise cards while this mission is in effect. Well, we just have the 1 Klingon battlecruiser. We have a Romulan and a Tholian, so we can still hit them. Klingons still move and fire as normal. So basically this is preventing us from attacking Klingon ships, which is not good. Our mission objective. Players must simply survive the cessation of hostilities with the Klingons long enough to convince them to do the same. The mission is successful if the Enterprise is intact when the mission timer reaches 0. So basically we just cannot attack Klingon ships. We just have to survive them pounding on us until the mission timer hits 0. So we're starting off with, I don't know, with a relatively simple mission, but it's just going to mean we're going to get damaged. There's not much we can do about it. So it just says an alien that lives on Hate traps a crew of Klingons aboard the Enterprise. All right, that is our mission. Scotty is up, so I think we're going to very quickly do Scotty's turn, and then we might leave it for the next episode. We'll pick up with Sulu and Chekov. So we'll do basically one player's turn right now. Let's take a look at Scotty and see what he's going to do. All right, so Scotty's up. And so once again, taking a look at our little card here. We've revealed our new mission, so we know what's going on. So now we can trade 1 card. And that's optional, so you don't have to. And then afterwards, we're going to play cards and maneuver the Enterprise. So first thing we're going to do is trade a card. Well, Scotty is going to take 1 card. He is going to take the... what's he going to do? He's going to take his card, which is the multi-range side phasers. He's going to give that to Sulu. And Sulu is going to give him the multi-range front torpedo. And that's hit 1 target, any range in either front facing. And it deals 2 damage. So this is a very powerful card. So, each character, so now we're into the play cards and maneuver phase. Each character, of course, can get to maneuver the Enterprise once. Of course, Sulu can do it twice as a special ability. Now, Scotty's special ability is to repair a shield or hull. Damaged section, well, nothing's damaged right now, of course, so we're not going to bother with that. But the first thing Scotty's going to do is going to play this card. He's going to play the Force Field. The Force Field says, place the Force Field token on one uncloaked threat token. That token does not move or fire this turn. Now, because we're in a situation where the Klingons, we cannot hit them with anything, doesn't mean we can't put a force field on it. So Scotty's going to use the force field, and he's going to lock down the Klingon battle cruiser. So it's not going to move or fire this turn, which is excellent for us, because we can't do anything about it anyway. And now Scotty is going to maneuver the Enterprise. I believe he's going to maneuver it. Yes, he is. Yeah, he's going to maneuver it. He's going to rotate it counterclockwise once. So basically now the front two sections, we have the Romulan battlecruiser up there. And then he is going to play this card, multi-range front photon torpedoes. Hit any one target at any range in the front facing, and it does 2 damage. So that is a good card to play. Our Romulan battlecruiser here has 2 hit points, and it is now in our front facing. Boom, 2 hits, and it gets destroyed or taken care of. And that's it. Now, Scotty doesn't really have any other cards to play, nor does he have any other special abilities. There's nothing to hit short range on the sides, nothing medium range on the side, and nothing back here long range in the rear. Of course, we cannot hit the Klingon targets. So that's basically the end of Scotty's play cards and maneuver. So what we do after that is we check the mission status. And what we do for mission status is that's the timer. So let's go over, check the mission status. So very simply, the mission status means we look at the mission card. Have we completed the mission? Well, in this case, we haven't, because we just have to survive the onslaught. We're just waiting for this timer to hit 0. So checking the mission status means the mission is going to tick down 1. So now there's 2 more turns before we get to 0, and this mission is completed. All right, after that happens, now it is threats, move, and fire, and then we're going to draw 2 new threats. So let's go back to the board. Threats are going to move and fire, then we're going to pull 2 from the bag. All right, we're into threats, moving, and firing. Well, we got rid of the Romulan battlecruiser. The Klingons are locked down with a force field, so they're not going to move, and they're not going to fire. However, the Tholians are going to move ahead 1, and they're going to fire at the Enterprise. Now, they're going to hit this shield first, and everything that fires does 1 damage unless it's a special token or tells you otherwise. So the shields are going to take 1 hit. So we put these little shield hit tokens on there, and you can see the shield is all sparking now. It's still intact, but it's been hit. And there's a special ability of the Tholians. If the Tholians ever get to close range, what happens is they lock down the maneuverability of the Enterprise. It can no longer maneuver. And that's how their special effect works. But in the meantime, they do move and fire. So the way we go with that. And now we're going to remove this because the force field has taken effect, which means the Klingon ship didn't move, didn't fire, which is good. Unfortunately now, we need to draw 2 tokens, threat tokens from the panic bag. And let's see what we get. And the first one we get is we get a comet. And comets just basically come in from one of the 6 directions, doing 2 damage to everything in their path. So we might get lucky here. If we roll a 3, we're going to blow up the Klingon battlecruiser because it's going to be in the way of the comet. Otherwise, something is going to take 2 damage. And let's see, which section do we come in on? Wow. Off to a great start. Well, sort of, but not bad. So we rolled a 3. This is section 3. All ships in the section, including cloaked ones, I believe, are destroyed. So that comet just flies in and takes out the Klingon battlecruiser. Gone. Unfortunately, it does hit our shield for 2 hits, 2 damage. And shields can take 2 hits, hull can take 2 hits. So this shield gets blown apart by the comet. So we no longer have a shield on that one back section, so we're probably going to want to repair it or replace it. And you replace them by combining a tritanium with a dilithium. And if you put the two together, you can rebuild a section. All right, well, that was just one threat. That was nice to take out that Klingon. Oh, that was pretty awesome. Now let's see what we get. One more token to end Scotty's turn. And, oh yay, we get a special token. This is Koloth's Battle Cruiser. Well, let's find out where it shows up. It shows up in Section 2. So, of course, your most hit points are always pointing towards the Enterprise. Now we have to consult the book on the back to see exactly what Koloth's battle cruiser does. And here it is, so back of your manual here. Koloth's battle cruiser. Roll a die and place a token on the long-range sector. Well, we did that. Then all uncloaked Klingon ships, including this one, immediately move one sector closer to the Enterprise. Okay, so it doesn't fire, so it just means all Klingon ships, including this one, move one sector closer to the Enterprise. Cloaked ships remain cloaked and do not move. This is in addition to any normal movement from threats and fire phase. Okay, so basically Koloth appears here and scoots ahead one very quickly. Doesn't fire though, but we're in trouble because we do now have Day of the Dove mission, which means we cannot target this guy. And there's only one force field card in the whole deck. We've already used it. Okay, that ends Scotty's turn. And so next up, in next episode, we're going to leave it off here. We're going to have Sulu go, and Sulu's going to go through the whole thing again. And of course, the main objective of the game to win is we want to complete 5 missions and have no threats left on the board and have the Enterprise not destroyed. I'm telling you, very difficult. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the videos if you do. Join me next time for the continuing voyages of the original series cast. Well, not all of them. Just Scotty, Sulu, Chekov, as they try to complete 5 missions without being destroyed. So this is Star Trek Panic. A pretty fun game. Again, join me. I'm going to do a complete playthrough, beginning to end. There's 3 characters. See if we can survive. I'm not so sure. I've played this maybe 5 times now and only managed to get extremely close to winning once. So maybe I'm just not good at it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Join me next time for Star Trek Panic.